Hello everybody and welcome to Pravus Gaming and Domina! It's a gladiator management game where we seek fame and glory through the pixelated violence of the arenas in ancient Rome. I played through this game recently in my spare time and had a lot of fun, but then I discovered that there are multiple endings and I got the bad one. So I want to give this game another shot, and I figured I'd record a very brief YouTube series showcasing the strategy that I will be using. Hopefully I've learned from my mistakes and we will get a more satisfying end to our bloody career. I will be employing a strategy that does not require mind control for this playthrough because now I know it is not especially useful by the end of the game, so instead I will be training up the AI of my gladiators to maximum, then trying to get their health and strength up so that they will be able to dominate the arena. Let's go ahead and start up a new game and see how things go. Welcome to Domina! The sun is setting on the once mighty Roman Empire. Violent rebellion erupts in the far territories, while political corruption erodes the empire closer to home. Fearing that the citizens will revolt and attempt to re-establish the Republic, the Emperor has decreed that there shall be a year of epic gladiatorial games, culminating in the greatest championship the Empire has ever seen, affording unimaginable rewards of coin and glory. The Emperor hopes to revitalize commerce and establish the rule of law once again, but Rome is disintegrating in his clenched fist. The next local games are scheduled soon, and you aim to win. So at this point we could choose to start with the tutorial, which is basically story mode for the game. Kind of gives you a bit more character depth and development and stuff, and also introduces you to new mechanics and characters as time goes on. But I find that some of those characters and mechanics are very useful from day one, and if you don't want to go through half the campaign kind of not having access to your full arsenal, I'd recommend not doing the tutorial and just moving on. If it's the first time you've ever played this game, then sure, absolutely. But for us, no, we're just going to go ahead and move on. So this is our character right here, the Lanista and Domina Volcania Caria? I have no idea. This is the magistrate, Horatius, who is one of the local government officials. So you can purchase slaves from this guy if you want. A couple of good options here, I suppose. They're usually pretty cheap. And he will be responsible for arranging some of your gladiatorial games. You can see his temperament here, and the more he likes you, the more likely he's going to give you fights that are easier for you to win, and also increases your reward. Making this guy like you, and also the other guy over here, I'll show him in a second, but making this guy like you is actually really key to success in this game, and I didn't understand that the first time I played, but it became obvious as I continued. The other guy over here is the Legat? I think it's how you're supposed to pronounce it. I don't know. I looked online for some pronunciations, and I'm not sure how much I trust it. We'll just call this guy the commander. That way I don't have to risk it. Does the same sort of thing, except instead of buying basic weak slaves, you can purchase battle-hardened gladiators. Although this guy is incredibly weak. I'm shocked he's selling him. Huh. That's really, really bad. Usually they come with some armor and stuff if you buy from this guy, which is why they're so much more expensive. But okay. We'll come back to him, but obviously we want to keep his temperament as high as possible as well. This guy over here, the Dottore, I'm not sure how you pronounce that, is basically the guy who is training all of our gladiators and keeps them in tip-top fighting shape. We can enable automatic gladiator training, so we don't have to click the train button every time we try to increase their stats. They just do it automatically. And he trains a bunch of special maneuvers so that they can use to try and win battles. For example, humility allows gladiators to surrender at any time during the battle, potentially saving his life, which is very good because at the same time, you might be saving your investment. Keep in mind, Jeremy's investing hundreds and hundreds of gold in these guys. Every one that dies is a huge blow. So giving them the option to surrender might lose you the fight, but at least save the gladiator. To start us off, though, with these gladiators, we have Octavius of Armorica. I don't know where that's supposed to be. He has 174 health, which is pretty decent to start us off. Not very aggressive, not very defensive, but he's very good at dodging, which is kind of okay. I guess I can kind of work with that. There are 5 stats you need to be aware of in this game. There is agility, which increases movement speed, weapon, which increases your attack damage, defense, which increases your resistance to attacks and makes you more defensive, strength gives you more attack damage, hit points, and defense resilience. Super strong stat. And then lastly, meditate, which increases your AI attack efficiency, makes your characters smarter and fight better, use their maneuvers more effectively. I'm actually going to go ahead and max this out to start off so they start training this, and try to get this up to 100. It's going to take a little while, but eventually we should be able to get there. And again, I'm not going to be going for a mind control strategy because I know that it will not help me at the very end of the game. I'm going to want my gladiators to be smart. So we're going to go ahead and start training this up. Afterwards, we're going to focus on strength, and then either weapon or defense, depending on their class and what they seem to need the most. We have a couple more slaves here. We have Plautius of Pannonia, who I will also set to meditate. Very aggressive guy, my god. He'll be a menace to his opponent, showering him with attacks and trying to get inside. I mean, that can be good. Maybe we want to save him to become a Murmillo once I unlock that class. I'm not too sure yet. And then lastly, we have Dorotheus of Baetica. 140 health, not very good. Set him to meditate. Also very evasive. Interesting, I'm starting off with two very evasive gladiators here. Not sure how I feel about that, but okay. So that's some of the basics of the game. Of course, the other thing you can do is buy some food, wine, and water. Obviously, you guys need to eat and drink. Wine is useful so that you will be able to bribe people, which we'll go ahead and do with the magistrate now. Send him a bit of wine, make him agreeable, and then I'll arrange gladiator patronage. So he basically adopts a gladiator, and I don't have to worry about their food and water. It doesn't save me a lot of money, but it's something. We'll do the same thing with this guy, send him some wine. Not sure why the sliding icon is different on this side. It's like on the left, and with him it's on the right. No idea why. Kind of weird. We'll do the same thing, suggest patronage. Problem solved. Go to the Doctore, go for aimed attack. And it looks like we are going into our first fight already. Okay, let's see how this works out for me. 229 gold, 8 wine, and 2 slaves if we win this fight against Sallustius, who has 148 health. He's level 2. Not a super duper good character. His attack damage is relatively low. Okay, let's go ahead and pick out our gladiator. We'll pick this guy with 174. He should be able to win this fight pretty well. Let's prepare for battle. Go forth, Octavius, and slaughter in the name of Rome. And look at all the happy people here to watch some bloodshed. You're all sadistic, horrible people. It's fine, though. Don't tell the plebs. Come on. Man, he's just standing there. He's not really getting in this guy's face too much. Waiting for him to come to him. Not going to be a good tactic going forward, but we'll see what happens. And that's how most of the fights are going to work. Sometimes it's not a one-on-one fight. Sometimes it's a group on a group, or there's chained lions or something stupid like that. But out of this, we got some extra Jupiter's Blessings cards, which I'll go ahead and explain real quick. More gold, wine, and as I said, 2 more slaves that I'll be able to use. Let's go ahead and set them all to meditate as well. This guy's not too bad. 160 health is pretty decent. And we'll do that. So Jupiter's Blessings cards gives extra bonuses to a few people. For example, if I put this here, he now is an equipment steward. This guy loses less armor value during a fight, and so on. Not super important, but, you know, it can kind of help. There are better cards out there that make them really effective at fighting. So maybe we'll get some good ones later. One other thing we need to do is hire some employees. Hire various employees to aid in the training of gladiators. To start us off with my strategy, I'm going to go for the Architect so I can get permanent improvements to their training, make them get their stats faster. The Faber or Faber, I don't know, it's basically a blacksmith who makes it cheaper for me to upgrade armor and weapons. That's very important. And then we're going to go for the Sacerdos? I'm not, again, I don't speak a lick of Latin. But this guy can give you periodic free stats to your gladiators. And this game is all about the stats and also the armor, but really a lot of stats. So let's heal this guy up. As far as armor is concerned, you can see here that we could upgrade weapons and a whole bunch of different bits of armor for gold. So if I wanted to get an extra 22 attack and 10 defense, I would spend 15 gold by right-clicking and getting a gladius. Do the same sort of thing with shields here. So this guy actually started off with some really solid armor. I'm kind of impressed. Let's improve his helmet a couple of times. That's pretty good. Get a fair bit of extra defense. We'll upgrade his greaves. And we could upgrade his weapon one more time, and you know what? I'm going to go ahead and do that. Let's make this guy nice and strong to start us off. He's actually not a half-bad character, considering. That's a lot of extra armor for him. Not bad at all. So what we're going to do with him, then, is we're going to attend a pit fight. This is basically in between major battles. You can send your gladiators... Actually, maybe I'll let him heal for a minute. You can send your gladiators off to fight small city background alley kind of fighting. Get an extra bit of money, and of course money is king, because that's what upgrades your gladiators and makes them better. But while we're waiting, let's go ahead and look at the Faber or Faber again, I don't know. We'll set him to auto-repair. We'll research automatic upgrades so that randomly he will get free weapon upgrades and armor upgrades. The Architect, I'm going to go for the Baths, which allows them to heal faster. And for this guy, I'm going to upgrade... Well, there's a bunch of different prayers that do different things, but I'll start with a prayer to Mars. Unify your gladiator's mind and body for faster reactions when fighting under AI control. Basically, free meditate stats, and the sooner we get that done, the sooner we can train them in defense and strength and stuff like that. So we'll go ahead and start there. Alright, is this guy nice and healed? Yes, he is. Let's wait until aimed attack is done. There we go. We'll learn blade control next, which allows for better attack damage, 25% attack damage for all weapons. Very useful. And let's try attending a pit fight and see how this works out. Looks like it's going to be a 1v1 fight against a guy who's never won a fight before. Okay. Now, the downside of pit fights is you don't know their armor and their stats. Details are hazy in the low light. So it's a bit of a risk anytime you step into that. But every time you win a fight, your guys get free stat upgrades, which saves you a lot of time when they start to snowball out of control. Let's accept the terms and hopefully we win. Prepare for battle! Come on, Octavius, don't let me down. Vitruvius? You can handle Vitruvius. Look at him, he's a pushover. He's got a silly pillow over his head. Get him! Now this guy's a different class. He actually throws a net. But I think we're going to be able to handle him pretty well. Oh, no, he does a lot of damage in that net. There we go. And he surrendered. Okay. Maybe I get him as a slave. Maybe he comes and works for me. Nope, but we did get agility, train speed, and a lot of extra training. So that's kind of the way that things work here. Pretty simple, but very difficult to master overall. Let's spend some money and heal him as much as we can. So I'm not going to show every single fight in this playthrough. That's just going to take way too long. There will be dozens upon dozens because I'm going to do pit fights every opportunity I get. I'll also do exhibition matches to try and get extra favor with the magistrate and the commander. So I'm not going to show you every single one. I'm basically just going to show you the ones that I think are interesting and relevant, and we'll continue making progress, and that's basically how I'm going to continue playing the game. Let's see. Do I want to spend money upgrading this guy's weapon? Probably not, but we can't really afford any more upgrades on my big guy. I often find in the early game that I focus a lot on 1 or 2 gladiators, get them really decked out. Hang on. Do I want to go for Jupiter's Blessings? Nah, I think I'll go for Disarming Blade. We have another fight. Okay. I often find that I go for 1 or 2 really solid gladiators to get me started, and we'll go from there. You might have noticed, by the way, that because the magistrate likes me better, I get 290 gold from this fight instead of the 200 and whatever it was before. I'm not too sure, but anyway, opinion matters. It's really good to get that. Come on, just kill him already. Look at him roll around like a ninny. He's dead now. Decapitated. Victory for me. 290 coins, some extra slaves, which I can train them up, and of course, those beautiful, beautiful stats. It all comes down to stats, guys. If you can get those figured out, you're set. Oh, nice. I get to have 2 gladiators go against 1 guy. Now, see, these are really useful, especially later in the game. Because what you can do is send 1 really experienced gladiator who slaughters all your enemies, and then a bunch of weak ones, and then everyone gets some stat boosts. Very good way to help boost up your weaker guys. You should be doing just fine, right? You're going to win this? Yeah, they're going to win this just fine. But, you know what, since I'm still kind of early on in the game, having 2 gladiators getting a little bit stronger, a powerful duo, sounds pretty nice. 323 gold and a couple more slaves. Do I want these slaves? I mean, this guy's alright, I guess I'll keep him, but what about you? Yeah, you're also right, you got 150 health. 150 health is kind of the benchmark, ideally, for slaves that I would keep. Like, for example, this guy's kind of weak. So I'm going to go ahead and sell him off. I could grant him his freedom. That's certainly an option, but I'm going to follow a different strategy for granting freedom later, so until the very end of the game, I'm only going to sell people that are not useful to me. Get that extra gold, win some more fights. Of course, I don't only want to upgrade just my first 2 guys, I really do need to take some risks on 3 or 4 pretty reasonable gladiators, so I think I'm going to send this guy out into a fight if I can. Might be a reasonable opponent. I mean, if he can win this, those extra stats at the beginning of the game are absolutely crucial, so I've made a small investment in him. If he can win, he'll become that much more valuable and eventually snowball out of control. Let's see how it goes. Yeah, fight! Oh, not a good start. Not a good start at all. Oh boy, not a good start. Wow, he actually pulled that one out, though. No dodging, no rolling. They don't believe in that. Just, you know, hit him where it hurts. Again and again and again. Eventually you'll pull through. Don't you die on me, buddy. Don't you die on me. Gladiator does not require food or water. That's worthless. Whatever, it doesn't matter too much. You'll notice with our blacksmith we finished auto upgrade, so I'm going to have that on absolutely. We'll keep researching blueprints just to make things cheaper and let the architect build more palaces and stuff, just so we can get faster training as we go forward. Your husband's wrist is adorned with a new piece of jewelry. It can only have come from the legate's wife or the magistrate's wife. Well, that sucks. Now, with these kind of events, usually you have to think about how they're going to screw you over, because the most obvious solution is not always the best. In my case, I think I'm just going to let it go. I mean, this happens a lot. This is ancient Rome, you know? Politics are kind of weird here. Anytime you think you're helping someone or confronting them directly, you're probably going to screw yourself over. Do I want critical strike, or do I want the evasive roll? Probably evasive roll, just so my guys last a little bit longer, right? Seems to make a lot of sense. Make sure you are topping yourself up on your food and water. Do not ever run out. Only bad things can happen if you run out. That said, don't just, make sure you buy every other day. You can pay the same price for 6 food or for 200 food. You gotta be careful about that. We'll attend a new pit fight here and see if we can fight this guy. He has a net, so a little bit of a risk there. If he traps my guy, he might get stuck and skewered, which obviously would not be good. But okay, Octavius, now's your time to shine. Murder, Glitius! Oh, Octavius, this is not looking good for you. He's trapped in the net. Oh, he's so dead. Oh, no. Well, oh, wait. Oh, it's getting close. Holy crap, you pulled it off, Octavius. You're a god. An absolute legend. Amazing. Wow. Okay, and that's why you never give up on a fight. You might find that things turn around very rapidly. Game crashed, have to start over. That's fine, let's move on to some new fights. Sevius, or whatever your name is. Do me proud, win this fight for me, and I shall give you many womens. Probably. I'm not really sure. Bleed on! Oh, this is not going well. This is bad start to this campaign now, ain't it? Well, I mean, he's kind of turning it around. He's not really dodging worth anything, but he's trying to get some solid hits in, but I'm not feeling very hopeful for his future. No women's for you! Wow, this guy just really loves it. Oh my god, he pulled it off! All the women's for you! You get them all. Well done, sir. As a matter of strategy, you shouldn't be afraid to throw away one of your slaves in a fight you know you can't win. I'm fairly confident the game does increase the difficulty if you are constantly winning fights. So sending out somebody really weak that really isn't worth any money to die kind of sets that ratio back a little bit. Possibly makes it a little bit easier in the future. I don't really know for sure, though. But I was pretty confident I wasn't going to win that fight. And in the meantime, we can just buy a new slave. They're pretty cheap. One with better health. Oh, yeah. Now's the time when my characters start getting real strong. Once you kind of reach this point where you're getting some of the really high-end armor and the stats are starting to look pretty balanced, that's when you know you're starting to snowball out of control. You can start crushing at this point. This guy's going to be very difficult to beat from here on out. Which is good. I might be able to use him to train some of my weaker guys. And honestly, as long as you have 2 really good decked-out gladiators at the beginning of the game, that should give you enough time and money to continue upgrading the rest of your team throughout the course of the game. Although, obviously, you want them to have as many victories as possible, just so they can build up those stats. Also, it's going to be very useful toward the end of the game, but I'll explain more once we get there. You know, I can think of a lot of people who will be complaining about the pixel art style of this game. I gotta say, it doesn't bother me one little bit. I'm actually totally okay with it being pixelated as long as the game is fun to play. You know, the art style can be as retro as you want. It doesn't really bother me at all. I think this is kind of fun. I like it. You can immediately tell by this guy's armor that we're going up against tougher foes. Kind of scary. I don't know if there's a code in the game that your opponents get tougher in scale with the armor of your best character. I'm not too sure. It does certainly seem that way. Either that or it just means I'm on pace to, like, get leveled up. I'm not too sure, but doesn't seem to have mattered much. We kind of crushed that guy. That was nice and easy. Good. Every fight should start looking more and more like this. With your main characters, anyway. Obviously, we still have to train up all the noobs. But we'll get there. We'll get there. Once you get your characters up to 100 meditation, I usually train strength, at least until they have about 200, 250 health. And then I can train a mix of weapon and defense from there on out. You'll notice I'm getting a lot of upgrades from my Architect, because I want to train these stats as quickly as possible, and I know they're permanent even if I fire the Architect and replace him with something different later. So I focus a lot on that in the early game. Alright, next fight. I'll probably send my second strongest guy in here. I want to get him some more stats, make him a little bit stronger. Don't want to put all my eggs in one basket, you know what I mean? And this guy's plenty strong. He should be able to handle this guy pretty easily. Don't let the red armor fool you. He's a pushover. Yep. See what I mean? He bled pretty well. The red armor is to disguise the blood. I didn't stand a chance. We don't have any room for you, so I'm going to sell you off. I don't really want to train new guys with 100 meditate. It takes a long dang time, but that's okay. We'll get there eventually. Alright, so let's see. What else we got going on here? We can continue upgrading as many of my guys as possible. I do kind of want to spread the wealth around, make sure I get some good armor, good shields, and stuff like that. Again, you know, once you get to this part of the game where your two main guys should be able to win most fights, I'm not really looking to invest everything I can in them. All the other guys are needing as much help as possible so they can win fights and get stats as well. You really want to have a good organized team. Magistrate has fallen ill. We'll help him out. Yeah, good. We get some extra favor with him. That's nice. You want to have a good, strong team by the end of the game. That's going to be absolutely crucial. You know, don't focus on just two guys the entire time. Yes, they can win every single fight for you, but winning every fight is not what's most important. Getting a good, strong team of all 15 gladiators. That's what's going to be important. Alright, buddy. Let's see what you can do. Make me proud. Wow, that was amazingly fast. Congratulations. You have made me proud. This guy is going to be pretty darn tough. 16 victories, but I think I'm going to take the risk with one of my weaker characters, not the main two. I really need to get some more stats on these guys, so this is going to be a little bit tough, but maybe we can win this one. And if so, you know, get this guy snowballing so we can have 4 good gladiators instead of 2. I mean, uh-oh. It's not going super well, but no one's dead in the first 5 seconds, so that's an improvement. Wow, synchronized rolling. That's pretty impressive, actually. No, like, seriously, they just keep rolling all over the darn place. Wow, what the heck's going on? Like, no one's taking any damage. This became a very defensive fight all of a sudden. Look at them go! Anytime a fight lasts more than 15 seconds, I have to think the crowd is just going ecstatic, you know? These things are usually so decisive. Oh. It's actually a really close fight, too. That's the thing that's just killing me right now. Like, they're really even on health right now. We're so close. I don't know if we're going to win this one, but I mean, at the very least, this is entertaining, I'm sure. Look at that. Look at him just go. Just, oh gosh, the evasive rolling is on point, though. Oh, got in a good hit there. Getting kind of close. Oh, there we go. Another good hit. Another good hit. Come on, finish him. Finish him. I know you can do it. I trained you for this moment. You're so close. Oh God. Okay, well. Oh my God, they're both so close to death. One more hit should do it from anyone. Holy crap, is the sun rising? They've been fighting all night. This is epic. Epic gladiatorial games indeed. Okay, at this point, I mean, are we gonna run out the clock? I mean, I've never done that before, but it could happen. You could have a fight last so long that it just ends in a draw and you technically lose. Oh! Oh, yes! We're the ones who win! Nice! Wow, that was getting a little close to the wire there, but man, we got that one. And that wasn't even a real fight. That was just to make somebody happy, make the legate happy. Dude, I gave you one heck of a fight. You better be happy with me. Yeah, you are. Well, on that note, I think we're going to go ahead and have to end this video, but this is a pretty short game, so we'll be finishing up pretty quickly. I'm just having a lot of fun, and I hope my strategy is making sense to you guys. Thank you all for watching. I do hope that you enjoyed. If so, then be sure to hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And I, as always, will see you guys next time.